some people look at the game last night. Why didn't he play? Why didn't he play? Why didn't he play? We have to have an honest conversation about Rasmus. Second season, he isn't scoring enough. I don't think we'll hit 10 goals this season. But you see, love United, hate the Ox. I thought you were, I thought you made an intelligent comment. I think that's a dreadful comment. But we have to have an honest conversation about Rasmus. He scored 2 good goals a week ago and has played up front against Arsenal with no service. And we need an honest conversation. I'll give you an honest conversation. It's about service, mate. Give him service, he'll score goals. Give him no service, he won't score goals. That's an honest conversation. Anything else beyond that is just pure and utter agenda. It's bullshit. Absolute shite. I don't care who played up front for Man United last night. Could be Erling Haaland, could be Harry Kane. They wouldn't have got any service. So yes, it was a below par performance for Rasmus as what you would expect from a striker. But there's no bloody service. And against Bodo Glimt, 2 chances, 2 goals. One of them virtually at nothing. So I don't think we need to have a conversation. Other than set pieces, Arsenal did not create any chances. Odegaard was missing. Saka was not visible. The lads did well. Slow progress is progress. Very good community. Well done, Henry, and a very good point. I can already see a start of play. This is Vinny. I trust the process. Derek says, Son is a bit old, isn't he? What wage will we give? Are we not in talks for Jokeres as a mid-term option with Rasmus as long-term striker? Says Derek. Well, I don't know, but I would watch Man United last night and I wouldn't be spending £70 million on Jokeres because he'd still be playing against Arsenal with no service. I desperately want to buy a really established attacking left-sided player. Luke Shaw's never fit, Delone can't do it, Palacio we don't know, Anthony can't do it. So we need to be able to attack down the flank, and we couldn't do that last night. Ahmad can do it down the right, Mazraoui can probably do it down the right as well. And I think we need better players behind the striker as well. I'm not convinced that Xerxes can do that role as well as he needs to. Obviously, a lot of people spoke about Rashford. I'd like to play Ahmad in behind there. Garnacho, as Lynn says, needs a bit of time to get used to it. Mount looks promising, but can he stay fit? We need somebody in behind the striker, to be honest with you. To put it in a nutshell, Rashford's just not good enough for that wrong. Thank you very much. Let me just have a quick check as well. Somebody just said, generally, are you happy? No, I'm not happy. Because we are, for me, top 4 was never going to happen. The top 4 disappeared last night anyway. Like, you can't be 7 points off 4th place. That's going to be too much. And it's not just 7 points, it's 10 places as well. So, in a way, that's a positive. We need a reality. We need a bloody reality bite in this fan base and in this football club. And the reality is we're not going to get top 4. And the reality is we're not good enough to get top 4. And the reality is we're a long way off. And as soon as people start realising the reality, they'll take their expectations down to a level where we're behind the manager that Ineos need to do more. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. And I hope that we can start to do more, because if we don't, then we will struggle. We will struggle as everybody else has done. Yoro was a positive from last night, Delit was a positive, Garte was a positive, and I think with Yoro we're just going to have to see steady progress on both. But I also think that hopefully we're starting to get closer to a situation where, look, Martinez and maybe didn't play last night as well. I mean, that's another positive, isn't it? Those 2 players would be players that are considered important players for Manchester United, so they'll be back soon as well. Just have a comment here, I just wanted to read it from Amarim about Ruben Amorim. Where's the quote? Oh yeah, Ruben Amorim was impressed with Yoro last night. You can feel it, talent, speed, the way he would want to get to Watford in Liverpool Stadium after a long time without playing. So I mean that's really encouraging from Amorim as well, to single out, not just he did well, but to single out the fact that he's quick, the talent, and the fact that he can do well in the one-on-ones, because he certainly wants to be able to do that with his defenders, because it allows reading some of the stuff here about half-time rants from Amarin. I don't know about half-time rant. At the end of the day, we are not where some people thought we were on Sunday night. It wasn't Amarin wrong. We're not bad. Certain players aren't bad. We are at the bottom of the mountain, and I'm ready to climb. But we're going to have to be patient, and along the way, we are going to lose fans. We're going to lose the media. We're going to get scrutiny. Player FC will be back. All these things are not going to disappear because we had a honeymoon in 2 weeks where everyone was like, oh my god, Amarin's amazing. We will get problems along the way. We'll have more defeats. We'll get leaks from the dressing room. Everything's going to happen. But as Stephen Maguire said, Amarin was right. He told you that the storm was coming, and it is going to come. And it's how you react to it. And all I can say is, I feel probably the same as I did on Sunday night. I was happy that we beat Everton, but I wasn't convinced that that meant we're back. And I'm not happy that we lost to Arsenal. I'm not convinced it means anything more than what it meant on Sunday night. We are a work in progress with a manager that has a ridiculously difficult job, who is not doing it in pre-season, who is trying to manage minutes and also massive games. And, you know, Forest on Saturday afternoon becomes a must-win game that might not be a win. So, you know, everything's challenging. Just joined, Simon is 30. It's not. It's 32. It's 32, mate. I don't know where you're getting your information from. 32 in July. Right, so I would sign Gyökeres, give him 4 or 5 years, and Rasmus is a good age learner from him as well as Logan Murray. Xavi Simons would be a great left attacking midfielder, Suzumi. Vinny says there's still a lot missing in Rasmus's game. He's 21 now, you would expect that. It's the same with Ganacho, it's the same with Mainoo, you would expect that. Why do you think you're going to have a complete striker at 20 or 21 or winger? Again, I don't understand elements about Manfans other than the fact that it's just player FC, because they want to compare 20-year-olds to 27-year-olds. And they're like, why is this player not like this player? Why doesn't this player get treated the same as this player? Maybe because that player's had 7 years more in a Man United shirt or a Sporting shirt or whatever. Like, there are players that need development, and there are players that I don't think can be developed. Derek says, as a left-sided creative player, we should have a look at Ben Sabir. He is fantastic in the value mass creative and looks to service. Give me Welbeck over Rashford any day, says Niki. Rashford is a product of club's failings over the past 10 years, with a stable structure and consistent coaching team could have been here. This is presuming ahead. No Rashford to a Farmers League for a reality check, says Thomas. Hi Mark, is it a psychological thing with some players? They aren't good enough. It's imperative Ineos have the journeys to sell them no matter what, says Tom. My biggest fear about Man United is I don't think Ineos have got the ability to sell players. They need to go. I think that they can sell players that people want. I think they can remove players that are out of contract, but I don't think they have the ability to remove what needs to be removed who is on a big contract. Luke Shaw could be one of those players. I mentioned Rashford. Anthony's on a big contract as well. Casemiro's got 2 years left. I don't think they can get rid of those types of players, and it needs to happen. I would be thrilled to see Ahmad and Mount in the 10. I hope as Yoro returns, Mazraoui can go into the right wing back facility. This also left Richard and wing back. This is KC. Thank you very much. Okay, 2 o'clock. I think we're previewing the Forest game because it's quick, isn't it? It's Thursday and we're playing on Saturday. Another quick rotation as per usual. There we go. Thanks everyone for tuning in this morning. Absolute legends as always. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. I feel like I've done you not in the last few minutes here. That's quite good. Out and about with Joe, thanks for your super chat, says Hoyland will only come good once the quality of the players around him improve. If there is no service, then there are no chances simply. He fits the profile. I just don't think some people know how to read the striker. I mean, I'm not a Man City fan, but the amount of times I defend Haaland is incredible. Haaland plays for Man City, doesn't score, Haaland's fell off, Haaland's shit. Watch the actual game, gets no service. Haaland is not a player that is good at holding up the ball, running the channel, games where he gets shut down and doesn't do anything. And people go, that Haaland shit. It's not shit. He has an attribute that needs to be fair. If you cut it off, his game becomes limited. And that's the same for a lot of strikers. So you need to, when you're analysing players, you need to look at the role that he has to do and the supply they are getting. It's as simple as that. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. Fantastic show this morning. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, back at 2 o'clock. Smash a like on the video, and if you've got time a little bit later, check out our video on Max Football, because there's something in there at the start, because me and Loz are just going to talk about the game, etc. There's something in there at the start which is very relevant to Man United. I think you might find it interesting. It may end up being clipped up somewhere that we can sort of react to, because I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, and it's the perfect time to say it, and it does involve certain players. Check that out on Max Football in a couple of hours. Speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching. To break his transfer promise. I couldn't get the words out. I'm flustered. Looks to break his transfer promise with scouts watching Sporting last night. Sporting absolutely demolished by Arsenal. Could Man United make use of Sporting players as well? We also got an update on the left back. You can vote on the left back you would like to go for. There are 3 currently leading the race now. 5 strikers has now become 7. But we have got the story on Evan Ferguson to talk about as well. We also got some interesting insights from another person from Portugal, just to give us a little bit more information on Amorim that we always like as well. And I suppose the big update this morning is, how is the cat? If you know, you know. Well, the cat is fine. It had gone behind under the cupboards. I did have to kick the cupboards in. The cat came out. But I suppose that's the most important thing. You can't leave the cat locked in the cupboard. It would never have gone out, and the noise would have got annoying. And I suppose the smell eventually. So yes, we got the cat out, of course. Let's fly into the show. Brando, Dave, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for getting your badge in. And Andre Smith has been a member for 20 months as well. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm not Zuma Bridge, Diego. Absolutely the opposite of Zuma Bridge. You know that it is. Anyway, lots to get into on the show. It is the press conference today as well. Amorim will be talking to the press at 1 o'clock with Bruno Fernandes. I'm sure there's some good questions to put to him. Obviously, we previewed the game against Burnley last night. We will get some questions about that. But I think we all know that Man United manager in a press conference is going to get a lot of questions. Bigger. We've certainly got some good ones for him if he gets the opportunity to ask. Okay, let's hit the game. So, sort of came in last night at the end of the preview. Didn't really get a chance to talk about it. But Evan Ferguson is up for loan/sale by Brighton. Now, this is a player that Man United have been linked to for a long time. Very long time. It feels like years and years. He's only 20, so it's probably the last 2 years, if we're being honest. Some people are saying we could loan Evan Ferguson, and of course we could do. I don't know where I sit on this one. Give me your thoughts, because there's no doubt that he's a good player, and there's no doubt that at 20 years of age he's got a lot of the attributes you expect. Think about 18 months ago, I was very excited about the player. But do you need to pose the question why he's serviced to the moments at Brighton? I mean, he's behind 3 strikers at Brighton, so his first choice is why Brighton want to move him on. He wants to play minutes. There's even talk that if a decent offer came, they'd sell him. So is this the sort of signing that Manchester United should go for? I'm going to park the car on the pole straight away, because I think that sometimes you've got to steal a march. And if Man United can do a deal with John Perez in January, and it's going to be hard to do it in the summer, and Sporting are willing to do it, and John Perez wants to do it, why would he not do it? I know Amarin said we'll wait until the summer, but it's sort of like, look, you can throw Milani in there for PSG, he's available, John McDavid is available, we spoke about Boniface last night. There are strikers available in this market, and in the summer transfer market, Victor Osimhen's only on loan in Turkey, so there's plenty of strikers. We got linked to that lad, I forget his name, I'll say it in a minute, Bundesliga, doing really well at the moment, begins with an M, Brainwave, that was with an M, that's what I'm talking about. So I think that there are definitely players to, Matthew Fox talks about Jaquepla, Atalanta, obviously I would watch this space. I mean, he's always been a player with a lot of potential, I will watch that space. Mamouche, yeah, that's it, he's been linked to us as well. So there's a lot of strikers that Man United can go for. And I suppose the question is, would you go low or would you go safe? Would you go cheap or would you go best you can get? And I think there is a vast array
Not feeling yourself, trouble sleeping, ongoing stress, anxiety, or low mood? They're all part of your mental health. Find support at yourmentalhealth.ie from the HSC.
Quick delivery? You in?
There's nothing quite like a quick delivery. You in?
Shop at Europe's largest iPhone refurbisher, where iPhones work like new. Visit swappy.ie today.
And let me know in the chat. I think you have to have age cut-off for a policy of building projects. I'm not being ageist. You could buy a 32-year-old. If you're Man City or Liverpool or Arsenal, you buy a 32-year-old and you're ready to go now. You might give you 2 years now, fight for the title. But the reason I think there has to be an age limit for Manchester United, Simon Hurst is 25, Samir is 28, Con says 30, Hayley says 27. I actually think 27/28 because the reason for it is if this was Manchester United in 2008 when we just won the Champions League, I'd buy a 30-year-old. I'd buy a 32-year-old. 2 years at the top level, don't care. It's absolutely brilliant. We're ready to go. The project's ready. But Man United at the moment, where we've not won a title for 11 years and we're not looking like we're going to win a title for the next 3, I'd be going, if I'm bringing a 28-year-old in, is he still going to be as good as he is now at 31 when we're ready to go then? And they might be, but we don't know about that. So that's the mistake that we made with Casemiro and other players that put us at that age, is that we're building projects here. And you're almost playing your fans and the media to a certain extent. Because when you buy Casemiro at 29 or 60 million or 70 million, everybody knows that Casemiro is not going to be the best centre midfielder in the world forever. So you're buying him for now. When you bring Ronaldo at 37, you know that he's not going to be the best striker in the world at 35. So you're buying him for now. Man United have been buying players for now, but we're not ready. What we need to do is buy more players for the future. Because it then sends a message that we're building a project, which we clearly are. So I think that if United are buying players at the moment, 28 is the limit, unless it's a very, very compelling case. Because I think at 28, in 3 years' time, you could still be very, very useful. But Jokeres is perfect, because 27 in the summer, you expect him 4 years, he's still scoring. So that would be but I think United are looking in that window of 17 to 29, which is quite good. Mark, can you give an in-depth video on the Premier League strikers and chances they get versus our strikers? Some crowds were comparing Nicholas Jackson with Rasmus. I can certainly bring some stats into that. Yeah, definitely good call, Alex. Thank you very much for your super chat this morning. Oh, can I just say, 49 left. I was going to say 69 for the lap, but 49 left and then they got, that's why I've got it on today. They're going quick, they are knitted Christmas jumpers. I think they're the best one we've ever done. There is a design on that, which is one to spin around. It does look good from behind. That's what we said. Very good. 49 left. We do ship them worldwide. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. Christmas is coming and you need to get the order in anyway if you want to get it delivered for Christmas. Thank you very much. Mark, you've done that one. Jake Smith says there's nothing more I want than to have another Irish player playing for United. I'm Irish myself, but I don't think Ferguson will do at Ferguson's games. Well, 55% of you have said you wouldn't go for Evan Ferguson. I have got another vote coming in for you in minutes. But what I do want to do is just while we do that, I'm just going to throw in something I'm going to do for the left back as well. Who would you sign? You know what, in relation to Evan Ferguson, I think that what I would say is 18 months ago, I'd been like, let's spend £80 million on him. I lived in Ireland for 3 years. It's really exciting that, Ireland have a player of that quality coming through. Desperately want to see more Irish players playing for Manchester United. That's a tradition that's just not where it needs to be. So I don't dismiss what I was thinking a year ago or 18 months ago. team's doing well at the moment. Nicholas Jackson's doing well. Well done. Don't talk to Liverpool who's doing well. We're not. We are starting the project by the hopefully at some point I will be able to say perhaps Jackson or Rashford or whatever those conversations are. But at the moment, it's part of the process I'm happy to be in, and I hope a lot of United fans are happy to be in it as well. We are at the bottom of the mountain. You've got to be happy with that, willing to climb it, because I think some people still want to reach and pretend that some people are not. I mean, if I could say one thing at the moment, it would be to Amorim or Anios or probably to Sydney Bradford. You know, we're fans of this football. We're very, very loyal. How long is it going to take? Well, that piece of string. I'll tell you how long it's going to take. I think it's going to take 3 to 5 years to find the title in the current Premier League atmosphere. If Man City get that, you'll do things down the league, you might have a role being a bit quicker, but maybe not. Liverpool or Arsenal are very dominant, but I think we're 3 to 5 years away from finding the title. So if I can say that to you, and you lot can say what you think of me, and tell me in the chat, there are the same 2028 to Sunday exactly. And that to me is a message that United need to put out this week. And the reason I say that is because I still think that we're a football club that doesn't want to be honest with the truth. And that can be very dangerous for a manager. And we did with Ten Hag, we did with Ollie, we did with Jose. We don't want to publicly put it out there, but it gets hidden in a different interview about something else. We need to be putting those statements out. And I think Amorim's been quite clever about this, but I'd like to see it come from the top. We are, as fans, are not willing to get into either or debates with other strikers, with other clubs, with our strikers, with centre backs or anything like that, because we know where we are. We're 13. Now it's time for some strong leadership at the top to say, look, we've all got to accept there's been 10 years of mistakes. Even the summer was a mistake back in Ten Hag and then sacking him. So we have made a lot of mistakes. We now feel that we've got a lot of the foundations in place to be on the right path. This path needs patience. The last thing in what's got is a section of the fan base starting to come out in the last 18 months to dig in and win. You need to put those fires out before you even start. You need to make a fire. And I like what Amorim said after the Ipswich game that we'd go for the week or suffering. But a manager can only go so far, because a manager will always be, or he would say that, 10 Hag's contract to trade it. I think the club needs to be a little bit more honest about how long this is going to take. I think it's a positive. What Amorim said at the weekend was quite clever. He said, expect more Ipswich games, expect more suffering, we'll try and win games while we keep building. It's a great thing to say, because now we're expecting more suffering, but we might not lose again. We might win every single game and win the title. If we do that, Amorim's even better genius. So if I was in that soccer club, it's out a lot further, but we're not expecting to be anywhere near where we want to be until 2028. If you do it in 2027, happy days. Hi Mark, I think this project needs to be given time. I think that we've seen big progress in 3 to 5 years. Patience is key. So getting it back in to Callum. Okay, and thank you very much, Callum. Been a member for 60 months, legend. Ferguson 100 million a month ago, definitely needed to be out, says Tazy. And Mojo's in the house on Super Chat. He says, would signing Jokeres or anyone else from Sporting be seeing a similar situation with Ten Hag? Got a few players from Ajax to sign, and we know doing well. I spoke about this yesterday, mate. You could have been well. I think we need to repel this idiocy. If we sign players from Sporting, we need to repel the idiocy there, because these idiots in the journalism world who have an axe to grind against Ten Hag, Man United. I mean, I've seen Jose Mourinho do this when he
vintage fabric. It's a natural fibre, it'll biodegrade. That's such an incredible source for me to use.
On our way to a dinner, Japardi Kalki, Mushasli, Inni, Ishlegri, Wilinchicho Illegri Yarhalki, Icon of Yomakalak.ie, or Anna Servish Switcher.
would be incredible considering we spent £60 million on it. And a lot of people think, well, what that would have done for it. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how it builds out. We've got somebody like Kone, like Green, who's on top of their sets. We've got Lady, who just think it's expensive, who's a little bit more put. So I think it's going to be very interesting how things work out, because I think some people want to assume, just like to assume what will happen and how things will work out. We don't So Ten Hag abandoned his principles that got him the United job to accommodate players. The blueprint is there. Amorim must stick to his principles, even if that means removing good/great players. Either Bruno and Rashford will go, Dads will go, but the manager can't go to them. And I think there is going to, I know, no, I don't think, I know, I do not think anymore. I know for a fact that people high up in that football will be putting pressure onto managers to pick certain players and say, you can't sell them. That's not fair on managers. So if you were Jose Mourinho and you're saying, I want to sell this player, and then the owners are saying, you can't, you want to continue half division, what's the point of getting Jose Mourinho? And if Amorim comes in and says, my style of football is this, it's disciplined, this player can't do it, you'll say, you've got to, so what's the point? This is going to be the acid test. For the player, for the club, and for the manager. But the manager must stay firm on his principles, absolutely. Very good points by Pedro there. One thing I did just want to bring in as well, it was very, very good what he had to say, I lost it in there. But just on the data side of things, I found this interesting. He said data analysis for big data, not novelty with Amorim. He was something new in football, but many fans and even journalists have no idea how information is obtained and how it is used, let alone its importance in the current game. Small devices, the size of a floating bin, are inserted into a small pouch on the back of the player's jerseys. These devices mainly index distance travelled, heart rate, temperature, and speed of travel. Not all the data is extremely accurate, but the readings that can be obtained it is possible to create a quantification of the player's physical and mental performance abilities. Their level of stress, fatigue, and speed during matches are constantly stored and interpreted, only to insert their evolution during the season in comparison with other athletes, obviously within the club and external data. Obviously, more technical performance analysis, it's easy to find common statistics, number of passes, successive passes, successive tackles. In fact, even kickers, you can find all this yourself. You can't get the distance, level of stress, fatigue, and speed. It's what's going on in the club. Together, these two ways of gathering information, the physical and the weekend passing, etc., are a big component of Amorim's decision-making when choosing the style of 11. What players do you need to complement those on the bench? Which ones will suit your own better? Which ones you should spare quiet? Which are which are most reliable and comprehensive during the season? And even more important than all this, who are the players that can reach numbers in an evolutionary way and support the team's growth? I think this explains why it's the team picked on Sunday. Because the team picked on Sunday, a lot of those players trained all week at Carrington, and a lot of players that didn't start did the international duty. I know that Man United doesn't sound like something new, but I think it's surprising is the interpretation that the training staff makes of the data and to what extent it helps them in making decisions. In Amorim's case, it's absolutely decisive. It won't matter much if it won numbers if Curry can go to Alex Rashford, or if he trusts Shaw's athletic aptitude, or even if he prefers Ahmad to Anthony. The numbers that each one offers during training and in games will be, I seriously believe, as I saw it at Sporting Day in Miami for a couple of years, 80% of the decision making. So what Pedro's saying there is his experience of following Sporting and Amorim for the last 4 years, team selections will be based on the combination of those datas. The datas that we have access to is shots.
A delivery! You in?
There's nothing quite like a quick delivery. You in?
Passes, etc., and also the physical and mental stress of the player and what they're capable of doing. I'm quite confident. 250 people lost their jobs, and now fans are paying to help them put it again. If this is true, like this is just look, what you're gonna name are fans, and you're paying fucking shit players hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. Like, yeah, this is the thing. I agree with William. So fans, there's all, I don't know what it's like anywhere else in the moment, but it's hard. It's hard. United news as we talk Amarim's transfer wish list. There's a lot of people talking about what will happen, what players will bring in, but actually I want to get into this with you like we did last night about who's going to fit into the system. I want to talk about the players that he's going to go for, because I think there are there's three massive things from the summer. Some people even have conspiracy theories that they were planning on bringing Amarim in when they kept Ten Hag, and maybe there are some theories there we'll discuss. But I also think there are three key positions he's going to look at, and I don't think it's going to be sporting players that he brings in. So we'll talk about that. Also, Kobe Mainoo has made interesting statements about winning trophies not being a successful season, and we've got this news about Manchester United and 3 or 4 other Premier League clubs staking a claim for compensation if Manchester City get found guilty. It's all going on at the show tonight. Lots going on as well. I'll tell you what's going on. You might have noticed I'm having a bit of a shave. I've got a big reveal to tell you, because my shave was courtesy of the brand new latest innovation from Manscaped, the Chairman Pro electric shave. This game-changing tool brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to make a rugged 5-o'clock shadow, the Chairman Pro is your go-to for precision and style. Precision shaving features 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Use the skin-safe 4-blade for a clean, smooth shave, or switch to the skin-safe stubble trimmer to keep your stubble sharp and polished. They're trying to catch me up with all this skin-safe stubble stuff. At the end of the day, it's got Flex Adjust technology, it's got a waterproof design, and it's got powerful performance, and it can be delivered to you with the code TUS20 for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Get it today, but don't forget as well, we've still got this beauty, the lawnmower, which is there to do the business downstairs as well. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. You're never going to get a Manscaped integration without me telling you about the lawnmower. Yes, it's better. Yes, it's precision engineering for your family jewels. But they do everything as well. They've got nasal hair trimmers, they've got shavers, they've got back down there, they've got all sorts. 20% delivered to your door with the code TS20, free shipping with that as well. Fantastic products from Manscaped. Christmas is coming as well. There may be partners and stuff thinking about presents. Brilliant. Get yourself 20% off. Get it in there, stocking. Lovely stuff from Manscaped. Thank you very much. TUS20, 20% off with that code and free worldwide shipping. Don't miss it. Links in the description or scan the QR code. Okay, let's start off with Amarim's transfer wish list. You might have noticed Ederson of Atalanta on the title under. Now, I don't believe that Manchester United were thinking about getting Amarim when they gave Erik ten Hag his contract in May. Some people do, and if I wanted to play the conspiracy game, I would say this: Manchester United didn't buy a left back, and you don't necessarily need a free centre back. Luke, get the block loads out, Goldbridge. What are you bloody been doing? Bloody concentrate your cuts. Manchester United don't need a left back if they're going to play a 3-4-3. Man United didn't buy a left back. Man United went for Bradley when they still wanted De Ligt, and many people say, why are we going for De Ligt and Bradley when we've got Yoro, Martinez and everybody else? Well, you need a lot of centre-backs if you're going to play at the back. Also, Man United's obsession was Elise. We don't need Elise. We've got Ahmad, we've got Garnacho, we still have Sancho, we've got Rashford, we've got Anthony. Well, you need a lot of wingers if you're going to play a 3-4-3. So the conspiracy theory goes like this: Man United wanted Amarim before they even decided to give Ten Hag another contract. And Man United still wanted Amarim throughout that time, which is why we didn't buy left back, which is why we were going for another centre back, and it's why we were going for another winger. Because centre backs and wingers thrive in Amarim's system, left backs, full backs don't. The kicker to that is that in Ten Hag's team, you need a left back, you don't need as many centre backs, and you don't need as many wingers. And yet we were trying to buy a winger, we were trying to buy another centre back, and we didn't buy a left back. So the conspiracy theory is, well, clearly Agate is an Amarim player as well. We were buying up players for Amarim, knowing we were going to sack Ten Hag. The problem with that is it makes total sense up until the point where you go, why would you give Ten Hag a contract and pay £15 million? Why would you employ Ruud and Rennie Head? It's a conspiracy theory. It doesn't make any sense. But what does make sense is that there is clues from one Man United have tried to sign in the summer in relation to what I think next three transfers will be on Amarim's wish list. Because remember, Amarim's wish list is actually Ineos's wish list because Amarim doesn't have veto. So he will suggest players, but it will be Ineos who decide what they go for. And I think there are three big areas in this team that Manchester United and Amarim will look at. And I'm going to go through the positions, but I'm also going to give you players. Now you can get your suggestions in. I'm not suggesting you need to agree. What I would say is I'm wearing a Christmas jumper. I'm wearing the Christmas jumper to show you what it's all about. I think it's our best design yet. I like the arm, I like this, I like that on the back, and I really do like that style as well. Links in the description, get them while you can. We've only got a couple of hundred left. They do ship them. But why are you doing it? Well, one, to promote the Christmas jumper, so you can get it in time for Christmas, because you're going to want to start wearing it at least to get the full use out of it. But two, to say that in a Christmas sense, Amarim is very unlikely to get his Christmas wish list from Manchester United, because we do have to consider FFP. Man United will be able to spend some money in the summer like we were last summer after June the 30th. But up until June the 30th, we are struggling to comply with FFP. So these players I'm about to mention here, I am not expecting them to be brought in January. I am expecting these key players to be brought in the summer. The three positions, and I'll give you examples of players that I think Man United need to buy over the next 6 months for Amarim, are a centre-back, a midfielder, and a winger. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but if you look at the 3-4-3 system, you need a lot of centre-back, you need a lot of wingers, and I looked at the holding midfield area for Garte and Mainu, and I don't see a lot else. And that, to me, is another area that which is very important. The double pivot midfielders are very important. The three centre-backs are very important. And effectively, sometimes he plays four wingers, two wide and two behind the striker. So I think we need an abundance of wingers. I think we need an abundance of centre-backs. And I think we need another holding midfield. And my three suggestions are, we know Braithwaite is a player that we want. He's left-footed. He will fit into the centre-back three area to give us numbers there. I also think in the double pivots, Ederson is absolutely nailed on. Now that sounds wrong that we're going to get him, but I know that Dan Ashford really likes him. I know that Man United have scouted him. I know that Newcastle tried to get him last January, and we know that this will be his last season for Atalanta. And we know that Man United really, in the long term, have only got Garte and Mainu. They need somebody else, because if Casemiro goes, Casemiro drops off, and then Mainu gets injured, who is going to play in the pivot next to Ugarte? Yeah, you can get Berlin to fill in, you can get Masraoui to fill in, but we are going to need somebody in that position. So I think centre-back, holding midfielder, and winger are the next three priority positions. And Holland would be great, Red Devil, but I'm not convinced we're going to go for sporting players. I was watching a video this afternoon with Beck talking about Pedro Gonçalves and also Quenda. Quenda's just signed a new contract with a 100 million release clause. Homeland, I think, has got an 80 million release clause. Jokeres has got an 80 million release clause. I'm sure that Amarim would like to buy those players, but I don't think we necessarily need to. I think there may well be other players we can get for a lot less of the price. So, a lot of people are talking about striker. I want to talk about that. So, Ederson in the midfield I think would work. Braithwaite I think is the player we're going to go for. As for wingers, I don't actually know. And I don't actually know. Because I don't actually know of any wingers that Man United are looking at actively at the moment. But I think we will bring a winger in, because this was something that Ineos wanted to do before the summer, and I think it's something that they will want to do the next summer as well. And don't forget, when it comes to financial fair play isn't just about waiting for next year to use the next year's allocation. You've also got to generate funds as well. There might be a winger or two that you move on. Anthony, I mean, if you sold Rashford, it's pure profit. I'm not saying there is a growth market, there is a growth industry at Manchester United at the moment, and it isn't really fullbacks. It isn't. It's centre backs, it's holding midfielders, it's wingers, and it's a striker. That's the growth area. Fullbacks probably don't suit the future. Certainly don't think we need to buy a left back in. Certainly don't think we need to buy a right. Mike says, Mike's given a mention. But give me your thoughts. I'm interested. This is what we do on the international break. Like, is there any specific areas or players that you think we should be looking at? Because I'm saying right now, Branthwaite, Edison, a winger, they're the growth areas for me. They're the obvious areas for me. I think we're short. I was looking at the squad today and I was going, where are we short in this team? And I was like, okay, you need to start with the centre backs. You've got Martinez, you've got Yoro, you've got Dalit. Luke Shaw is injury prone. Harry Maguire is 32 and out of contract and becoming injury prone. Johnny Evans will retire at the end of the season and Victor Lindelof's out of contract. Those four are gone. So I'm actually left with three positions and three centre backs. Yes, Mazraoui can play there. Yes, maybe Dalot can play there. But semi-final, we are actually good for centre backs this year, but next year we're probably going to lose 3 or 4. So we definitely going to lose centre back. I'm looking at this squad and I'm going next season, that next summer is when Amrin will get money. Where are the areas we're going to go? Centre back, absolutely nailed on. There's not necessarily any young centre backs coming through either. There's nobody really from the centre backs that people going, they're ready. And I hope somebody can do it. Arabin says, what about Luke Shaw for centre back? Like, do you not listen? And do you just literally not listen at all? Where's Luke Shaw been for the last 18 months? We can't have that conversation. We just can't have it. We're talking about the future, we're talking about a squad, and we're talking about areas of weakness and what players and positions we're going to prioritise. I think centre back is absolutely nailed on. Into the midfield, as I said before, Casemiro's not getting any younger. Ericsson will go. That leaves Maynard and Ugarte. Yes, there is Collier coming through, hopefully a Gore or someone else like that. But I think, even if Collier or a Gore comes through, they're teenagers or their early 20s, just like Maynard. So I think we need another centre back, another midfielder as well. So otherwise, we're short in centre back and we're short in midfield as well. And then I look at the wingers and I go, well, play 2 wide wingers. That's 2 wingers. You might want to put wingers in behind the striker as well. So let's say every game you want to play at least 3 wingers, 1 behind the striker and 2 out wide. We've got Garnacho, we've got Ahmad, we've then got Anthony, and we've got the Rashford problem. But it's only 4. So I would say we need at least another winger as well. So that's why I've said winger, holding midfielder, and centre back are areas of weakness in our squad next summer due to age, end of contract, and form. They are areas we will have to get players in for. Otherwise, this whole 3-4-3 system probably won't work out. I also think the striker is a good shout. We have got a little bit of time to assess that situation, but I think the striker will come in. It depends what sort of budget we've got. I mean, look, honestly, if we want centre back, holding midfielder, winger, and striker, where's the 300 million quid for that? We might have to get creative. We might have to go for somebody who is not as high profile as you think. But so much of that depends on Rasmus. If Rasmus can become Man United's to Manchester United what Stockwell came to Sporting, because no one was expecting that, then you probably go for a striker that's a bit cheaper. If Rasmus can't do that, you're probably going to go somewhere a little bit more high profile. Of course, you have got him as well. Alfonso Davies, surely, says David. Dinner today, says Rebecca. Sergeant says, what about Florian Wirtz to United? Perfect competition for Bruno. I don't want to be offensive, so I'll be offensive, but I haven't really got time if we want to talk about £90 million players. We're not operating in that world, and I think it's a waste of everybody's breath. We try to be realistic. We might predict realistic signings that don't come anywhere near Man United, but we can't start talking about Musiala or Wirtz like we're going to spend 60, 70, 80, 90 million pounds on one player, which we're not that good. We haven't got the money to do that. We only got Dora 50 or 60 because we're doing it in instalments, and we did a very good deal with Lille. I think we've got to be realistic about what we do, because the minute people start talking about maybe we can get that way out of Real Madrid, maybe we can get Wirtz, another £10 million getting Amorim out of Sporting. It's £25 million plus Rude, plus Rennie. It just doesn't make sense on the financials because we're in debt. So I think it works as a conspiracy on many levels. It doesn't actually make any sense to do it. Mark, our strikers will benefit a lot. Can we just actually have a moment as well for Eric Ten Hag? I think we're in a better position. I think he's in a better position. I think it had got to a point where enough was enough. But have you ever actually thought of taking one moment today to think that actually Howard Webber's admitted it wasn't a penalty for West Ham? It was a shocking decision. And if we'd drawn that game, I don't think we'd have been signed. I will never, ever, ever, ever encourage Michael Oliver to say he did a good job, but that's tactically done in that game. We shouldn't take penalty. Deacon Heads, welcome to Members Club, thank you very much. Mark, our strikers will benefit a lot more with the 3-4-3 system than two just chucked up close behind, said Jason. Carzilla says, breaking Premier League referee David Dooley's seen a new emerging footy. I've seen it, and this is not that small that I've seen. Have you seen the latest on David Cork's noting? Yeah, he's given his job, isn't he, Chris, at the end of the day. Mark, you're currently 80-1 as next match of the day presenters, says Paul. I'd say very unlikely, but interesting stuff going on. Parker says you should grow a long beard like LeBron. Crispin, welcome to Members Club, thank you very much for that. Probably naive here, says Lee. How does this system deal with attacking wingers and overlapping fullbacks? Does the defence shift over? Won't we need to defend with 5, says Lee. I think if you've watched any Sporting games, and admittedly I've been watching them a lot more than I was, basically when you haven't got the ball, the wide players have to work ridiculously hard. I was watching the Braga game, and I was watching the Man City game, really caught my eye because they were all playing defensively. And the minute they got the ball, they're almost level with the striker, the wide players. It's ridiculous amount of work, which is going to be interesting if we can get those players to do it. Would you take Van de Ven from Spurs? Quality play. Bit injury prone, quality play. In January we'll go for a forward and midfield, this is Peel. Ben Jones says 3 centre-backs in, simple maths. So 3 out of 3 in. I can't lie, bringing back Camboire isn't a bad shout. You know what, I can't lie at UFC LD. I don't know how well Camboire is doing for the end. Emily Derry makes a great point. We argue, this is what I want, this is what I like about international friends. So we will talk about the Man City thing in a minute, we will talk about what Nathan said. We're talking about at the moment 3 positions that Amorim will go for, essentially. And I've said, well, we're going to be really short on centre-backs in the summer, and that's a key position that we need 3 of them. We're going to be really short in centre midfield in the pivot, and that's a key position as well. And we haven't got enough wingers when he likes loads of wingers. So I think those 3 are as important, if not more important, than the striker. And Emily Derry says, we arguably need to sign 2 centre-backs, 2 midfielders, 1 more attacking and 1 more defensive. I think when you're changing system, we need quite a few players. Everything, Mark, evening Mark, says Dan John, it's been a while, hope you're doing well, Dan. I'm excited for the new plan, but as a side note, do you think Cooper was offside in the video released earlier, cheers? Must keep in mind this is Ineos's guys to Hugh. And Ross Knight says, I think Ineos had Amorim in mind all along before players vote for Ten Hag and can use as a safety net just in case Ten Hag as well. I think that makes sense. Sometimes
Pay your tolls automatically and get a discount with a free N50 video tolling account.
the truth is in between, isn't it? I think they like and admire Amorim, and that's why he's here. I think they gave Ten Hag the job and wanted him to succeed. But I think the problem was an element of, if we're going to buy players, let's buy players that suit where we could be heading as well as where we are. And what I mean by that is De Ligt, Ugarte, Masraoui, Yoro, Xerxes, all fit the system that Ten Hag wants to play. But if Ten Hag fails and you get Amorim, they all pretty much fit the system that Amorim wants to play. I mean, the only one that maybe doesn't is Xerxes, but it's a system with 2 attacking midfielders, so it could work. So I think that's probably what did that. John says, I hope you change formation So realistically, it's Martinez, Yoro, Willips, Masraoui, Delon. Two of those forwards. We are going to need another centre-back in the summer, 100%. What's the free agent market like, says Kristen? Well, this is something Man United. Man United need to be very, very good, Brighton do, in finding players through very good scouting system, which I think we are capable of doing now. We also need to be monitoring the free agent market. Mike JBA has gifted a membership. Thank you very much. Somebody just said that. Can we talk about this compensation, suing of Man City thing? We'll just drink from that for a moment. We can come back to it. So Manchester United, Liverpool and Arsenal want Premier League payout. Man City are found guilty. Several clubs could be entitled to compensation if Man City are found guilty for 1.5, 1.6, 1.0, whatever it is. City were charged and referred to an independent commission last February after a 4-year investigation, and they had 115 charges between 2009 and 2018. According to reports, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal and Spurs will seek compensation if Man City are found guilty. Apparently, we and those clubs have submitted legal notices reserving the right to claim compensation if Man City are found guilty, according to the Times. It was said that all 4 clubs were advised by lawyers that there was a potential 6-year statute of limitations, with the deadline expiring last week. If the charges against City are proven, clubs could claim the loss of income for missing out on Premier League titles and qualifications for the Champions League across multiple seasons. Clubs are not allowed to sue each other in the courts, and they are prohibited from doing so by the Premier League rules. However, they are allowed to submit compensation claims through arbitration. Leeds, Leicester, Forest, Burnley and Southampton applied for compensation, and Everton were found to have profits and sustainability of last season. However, those claims have since been withdrawn with any result. So, a verdict against the charges of Man City will have to wait and see. I think it's a stopgap, really. A lot of people are saying, what does this mean? It can be as significant as you want it to be, or it can be as irrelevant as you want it to be. But what I think it is, it's a safety net. Because if you don't file it, because there's a statute of limitations, what that means is, if you commit a crime, or a fraud, or whatever, in 2016, and there's a statute of limitations saying that you can only file a report or claim for 4 years, it's 2022, you're out of statute of limitations, so you can't do it. So it sounds like Man United and other clubs have, basically stated a claim, so that if they want to do it, they're not outside that statute of limitations. And effectively, worst case scenario, if Man City got found guilty, Man United, Liverpool, Spurs and Arsenal would claim tens of millions of pounds for missing out on the Champions League over multiple years and Premier League titles. Or on the other hand, they'll get found not guilty and nothing will happen, or they'll get found guilty and people say you can't do it. But it could be massively significant. I suppose my general thought when I see stuff like that makes me more think they won't get found guilty, because surely the Premier League look at that today and go, we find them guilty. Not only are they going to have to give them a big fine and probably kick them out of the league, they're also going to get compensation claims against them for the low clubs as well. So I don't necessarily think it means that. So that's what it means in short. Rick says, hi Mark, will Omar Barada face any repercussions from the 115? I believe he was CEO of Man City for 2011. He was never the CEO at Manchester City, he was the CCO, which is the one below that. So he wasn't C3 that was in Star Wars, but I don't know. I don't know, mate. I mean, and it is an interesting one from Manchester United's point of view, because we have got somebody that worked very closely with Man City for a very long period of time. You can understand why Pep Guardiola might say, COO, Chief Operating Officer, wasn't Chief Executive Officer. Pep Guardiola is the manager can obviously from a innocence and say, I was just running a football club, I don't know how to give him money. But if somebody was a COO, I would have thought they'd be involved in the running of the football club and have some idea of anything that wasn't quite right. But I don't know. Man United used to look at that. Look, I've done a video on this on That's Football a few weeks ago. Whichever way it goes with Man City, the landscape of football will change massively. We're at the point of no return now. They're either going to get found guilty, it's going to cause quote that came out from Eddie Manuel's interview that he did with GQ magazine, where he basically said that I might get this wrong actually. It was something along the lines of winning the trophy is nice, but it doesn't make it a successful season. Now some people have jumped on that and gone, oh, Manu having a big Ten Hag. Manu did a thank you Instagram post for Ten Hag, so I don't think Manu has an axe to grind with Ten Hag. I think what he's saying is the truth. I think we all said it. Last season was a crap season. Winning a trophy didn't change the fact that it was a crap season. What winning the FA Cup did is it gave us something to take away from a horrible season. I would never describe that season as successful. I think it had very, very strong memories of that Ollie Rangnick season, which was just toxic and horrible. But what we did is rescue something from a very bad season. So I agree with Nathan. I don't think it's wrong to say that last season wasn't a successful season just because we won the FA Cup. I think we took a day, we took a moment from the season, which is better than what most clubs do, and I think that's great for the fans and the club, but it wasn't successful. A successful season wasn't winning the FA Cup in those circumstances. It was something to take out of the season, and the players did fantastically well, and so did Ten Hag to be honest with Man City, but I don't think we can look back on that season and go, yeah, that was a good season, we just didn't win the FA Cup. I think my personal opinion is that consistency is what makes a good season. The only place you can be consistent is in the Premier League, and we weren't successful in the Premier League, so I agree with him. Sergio says, what about Jonathan Tah to United? He's a good option, isn't too expensive. He's out of contract in the summer, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's out of contract, and I'm pretty sure he's going to Bayern Munich when he is out of contract, but let me just have a quick look. I know he was meant to be going to Bayern Munich anyway, wasn't he? Yeah, he's out of contract in 2025, so he was just saying Bayern Munich, which is what he wanted to do this season. I heard earlier that Amarin's central centre-back drops just behind the CBN's in offensive play, and Goro would be perfect in this role. We need Brampley as well as a stand-up. I'll be stunned if you don't like Darren Brampley. It's not the same as Sancho, but it is in a way. If he wants in one summer and we get him the next summer, I really think that this is a player that's in extremely well. Wackass with a super chat. Thanks for the super chats tonight. He says, hi Mark, since we changed our game model to a back three, does that mean the academy switch of their play to what happens if Amarin has to go? I think you're going way too far in the future. You were real. Mate, you did really good. You did really well. And then you ruined it at the end. You ran the perfect race and then you tripped up. Yeah? You had the perfect date and then you parted. Yeah? You ruined it. Because it was so good. It was literally so good. If you had just said, since we changed our game model to a back three, does that mean the academy will too? That's perfect. Adding what happens if Amarin has to go sort of ruins it. Because he hasn't even started yet. Where's he going? On holiday? To the toilet? Paternity leave, like, we don't need that at the end. But in all seriousness, I think you make a really good point about you. Surely we'll start playing 3-4-3. I was having this chat last week with who it was, Sam or something like that, and we were talking about how when Van Gaal came, this was definitely wasn't a bloody thing in the noise. Right, everyone, I want to play like Everton. We're going to play like Everton from underneath, right? Get the ball in the mixer with the second balls, right? And get out of Jimmy, you know? Aye, that's what we did. You know Jagielka? You ain't got to play for England because of me. I'm the man. And you're the man as well, although you're not a man because you're under 8s. So I think that Louis Van Gaal brought this in, and it has been. I don't know whether Mourinho did it. I don't know whether Ollie did it, but I know Ten Hag did it as well. So I think it's a great point, like us, and surely we will start playing 3-4-3 at the younger level. But I'll tell you now, I don't spend as much time analysing and watching the youth sector as much as some people do, because players in the youth go, you're definitely going to be a future superstar, because there's so many people that haven't, and there's so many people that don't look like they will and do. But when you look at the youth centre, we are quite stacked on wingers and attacking midfielders, so I think that's a positive in a 3-4-3. But I don't know whether we've got an abundance of centre-backs to play a back three. So I think it's not just recruitment for the first team. I think recruitment in the youth will change as well, because you might start seeing Man United bringing in 16-year-old centre-backs from across Europe and stuff like that, because Wackas is absolutely correct. It would be silly, really silly, to be promoting young players to the first team who've been playing 4-3-3, and then suddenly we're going to play 3-4-3. You've got to start doing it throughout the whole club. Now, I don't know if we've got any sporting fans listening, is that what you do with your youth? But I think if you want to promote players and generate players that are going to play for the first team, it makes total sense that you've got the same sort of system going on. Mark Millis says, what about Javi Simons? Very good comment, Mark. Very good comment. I mean, look, there are people out there, and I'm sure we'll do it as well. I mean, I've sort of done it now. Edison in the midfield, Branthwaite at centre-back, maybe a Jonathan David as a striker. I wouldn't move away from those three names much at the moment. But I think Javi Simons is a good shout for Mark Miller. But there'll be people out there who are doing articles and posts saying, these are the players we need to look at. I've analysed the system. I think that these are the players that we need to look at, because I basically pulled them from my arse, and I've analysed the efforts, and I've basically acted like I'm a scout even though I am not. I'm currently unemployed, trying to get a job in, what did I do at university? I don't know. I spend my time analysing the stats. These are the signings we're going to play, and I've got a little chart for it. Fair play. But nobody had a bloody clue who we were going for in the summer. No one's got a bloody clue what we're going to do now, and that includes journalists. So when you get that comment from Mark about Javi Simons, I like it. I like it a lot, because we tried to get Javi Simons in the summer, which means Ineos tried to get Javi Simons in the summer. We tried to get Branthwaite in the summer, which meant Ineos tried to get Branthwaite in the summer. Dan Ashworth tried to get Edison last January for Newcastle, which means Ineos will be looking at Edison for Manchester United, and Man United can scout Edison for a very long time. So I think you can learn the future from the past with Ineos, because you're never going to understand the present, because they're never going to tell you, they're never going to tell anybody else who they're looking at. So we can all predict people, but we can actually use past information, potentials, and as I say, Branthwaite, Edison, Simons, probably quite interesting players that could possibly end up in the league. And of course, Simons can play in behind the striker. We'd argue he's absolutely bloody perfect, because we know Simons, he can play as a 10, he has played out wide. Look, I know we've got links to Nkunku, he would be perfect if he could stay fit, but Kuna, I like a lot, sharp, I really like Kuna at Wolves. I don't know whether Man United have ever pushed it beyond scouting. Certainly don't think that we've ever lodged any serious interest, but we did in Simons and we did in Branthwaite. Lokesh says, I think Amas is going to be a star in the Cameroon. He has the technical ability, also unpopular opinion, below is going to be a key player. Lokesh, I hope you're right. Lokesh, you're wrong. I don't know. We'll have to see. If he wants to play wingers, where does Bello fit in? If he wants to play wing backs, perfect. So, you know, I don't know. I think Bello is a massively important player, but his position doesn't exist anymore. We're not playing with a right back, we're not playing with a left back. Whether it's a wing back or a winger, it ain't a fullback. Fullbacks are dead in this system. It doesn't exist. It's a dead. That's what I said at the start. Why would you buy a fullback? We're not buying fullbacks anymore. You might buy Frimpong, you might get Alphonso Davies, but that's because they can play as wide wingers or wide wing backs, whatever you want to call them. The fullback system is dead, and it ain't coming back for Aaron. It's just not there anymore. So whatever happens to Bello, we will have to look out. Aaron should go back using wing back in the Premier League like the way he used Pedro Porro and Nuno Mendes. If he uses Rashford and Garnacho, that would be a disaster. Play Liverpool will be overrun by Diaz and Salah. They've got three centre-backs over there. You know, those three centre-backs not really stood there with their dick in their hand whilst, you know, Mark did the job. will only play with one forward. So you've got three centre backs. I think people forget. People overanalyze it and panic about getting done down the line because we've got wingers. We've got three centre backs. Three centre backs. They don't just stand there and mark with one striker. Most people play with one striker. We don't need a winger. Malacia could do a job wing back. That's your last chance, mate. Twice you try. I think Amas, okay, we keep talking about Amrin bringing in new players, but how do we expect to do that when all of our wages are tied up with players like Rashford, Bruno and Casemiro across the team? Needs to be some harsh decisions. Owen says, for a 3-4-3, we need younger centre-backs, good in exposed situations and good on the ball. Lissandro, Branthwaite and maybe Guehi. This is Owen. Trey Warren says, the real question, what happens if Amrin doesn't work out? Listen tonight, Trey and Wackhouse. How does anybody answer that question? If I said to you, what happens if Amrin doesn't work out? Give me an answer. I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that question. For one, I don't want to answer it. He's not even started yet. For two, I believe he should be given 3 years. So, one, I don't want to answer it. But two, we shouldn't be even thinking about it for 3 years. I think if you come into this going, what happens if Amrin doesn't work? Who decides it doesn't work? That's the dangerous Trey, I'll answer this question. Who decides it doesn't work? And when do you decide it? Because this is the thing that you must fear the most. Fans with no patience or a media with an axe to grind. The only people that decide it's not working is you, the media. And it shouldn't be being decided for 3 years. If I hear anything in 18 months going, nah, he ain't good enough. He ain't good enough for the league. Get rid of him. Yeah, it's the Portuguese centre. Get rid of him. Yeah. Who will be deciding that? Ineos aren't going to start putting it out there. We've got to give this guy 3 years. We have to give him 3 years. We're changing our whole system. We're changing our whole training section. It probably isn't going to work for a period of time. But we've got to give it a long period of time. And I don't really understand this question of what happens if it doesn't work. Because who's the judge on it not working? Is it not? Does it not work if we get beat by Man City then? Well, we will get beat by Man City. Does it not work if the players aren't good enough to do the system? Well, we've sacked so many managers because the players aren't good enough. The only way it doesn't work for me, Trent, is if we give it 2-3 years, we remove the shit, which we've never done before, we give him countless players that suit the system, and it still doesn't work. But for me, if we don't get rid of Deadwood, and it's not working after 2 or 3 years, I think it's on the Deadwood again. I don't think you've got to give him everything. There's no point in 2.5 years being sat there going, I can't believe here, and here, still here, and we're still doing shit. That's got to change. Would you consider Adiemi or Makoko the striker options, as Mr. Seven?
This Christmas, you choose the Lord. You'll provide the bliss.
I don't know. You know, I had an answer and then I sort of stood, well, I mean, why not? Why can't it be some striker on the Bundesliga? It matters not to me. It really doesn't. Because it matters on how we scout. If we find the right players, I'm happy. But we've got to find the right players. I think he's going to try Rashford as the main striker as he's on a big contract and could work with this new system, says Gemma. Yeah, look, I certainly don't think for 1 second that he's going to walk in and throw Marcus Rashford in the scrap heap. Because whether you like it or not, even football can be terrible. Because financially, for a fee, it's a lot of money and it's a large contract. And therefore, Rashford's still very powerful. The same as Bruno Fernandes, the same as Casemiro. Anybody who's on 300 grand a week with more than a year left on their contract is very, very powerful. Even if Ineos or somebody is saying they've got the power, I know they haven't. You've got a player who's got 2 or 3 or 4 years on their contract at 300k a week. You haven't really. You haven't, because the player has. You're not a going anywhere unless someone gives me 300k a week. And if you want me to go, you can pay off all that contract as well. So Man United have to. They have to. And you might be right. My issue with Rashford as a striker is that it's only ever really worked when ball is there for him to run onto quickly. Well, he's not physical. He's not great when he's back to goal. So when you look at top players at Sporting, or you look at Erasmus or Harry Kane or Haaland, there is a physical element to their game, even though we're talking about many different strikers. We don't really have that with Rashford. So I think Rashford as a striker can do it. It's got to be running onto the ball into space. But some people think he's lost the yard of pace. So I don't know. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried it. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to keep Rashford in the centre because if he has lost the yard of pace, I think behind the striker. I know people don't necessarily agree with that, but I think behind the striker, behind a bit more central. Before even thinking about transfer outside, I haven't heard much about what happens to the players we have within the club and the young players that play in senior roles. Ruben will 100% get it right at United, says Wayne Finnegan. I hope so, Wayne. And in my opinion, you see many people think he is a genius. I agree with you, the players we need, says Wayne. Look, regardless of whether he's successful or not, I think we absolutely need a centre-back, we absolutely need a holding midfielder, we absolutely need another winger. And that's where I think we'll go. I agree about the striker, but it's those four positions again. Stuart Farron says, interesting times, are we still other team of misfits not fitting the jigsaw puzzle? Are we ready to play this exciting new style for our team? I want to believe in this, it's an exciting time. You know what, I was thinking about this the other day, I don't know when anybody said it, so apologies if I have. Every rebuild has involved a manager coming in with other players that are already there and new players coming in that manager. There is never synergy. There is an establishment, there is a new manager, and there are new players, and everyone needs to get to know each other. And it's always a very similar system. It's 4-3-3. Let's try and get the defensive line up. Let's try and counter. Let's try and be possession. Let's try and get crosses in the box. From Van Gaal to Jose, to Ollie, to Rangnick, to Ten Hag, it's basically been a back four. And all of those people come in with new ideas, some new players, and an established dressing room that's been there for a while. What I think is different about Rangnick is that there is no establishment. Even the Garte and the Liz have been here with Rashford and Bruno, with Ten Hag. There is no new players coming in. Everybody knows each other in the playing squad, even if it's only for a few months. And then there's a brand new system and a brand new coaching setup with no coach that's been here before. So everybody's in it together is what I'm trying to say. There's no preconceptions, there's no we've been here before, because nobody has seen this system or played with this system before, and nobody has played with this manager before apart from the Barca. So I do think that it's very disruptive, but I also think everybody, from Marcus Rashford to Tyrell Malacia, from Luke Shaw to Lamela Garte, they're all starting with no head start, with no knowledge, with no clear for me, I've been here for years. It's a new Man United. Nobody knows this. You might have been at Carrington for years, you might have been there since you were 8. You've never seen this before, nobody has. This is a total reset in a playing style. Completely utter reset. We've never had that before. We've always spoken about the club needs a reset. Well, there are numerous reset buttons. The TV's got a reset button, the Wi-Fi router's got a reset button, you know, your bloody cooker's got a reset button. There are different elements to Manchester United, and we are hitting reset on the playing side of things. And that could be quite liberating if everybody buys into it. To think Johnny Evans played against Ruben in 2012, says Participantly Stu, thank you very much. Caitlin says, I don't think Rashford would ever be successful as a lone striker. No, I don't think it's about in his position. And also, let's be fair to Rashford, he doesn't like play striker. I don't think he's ever liked to play striker. I think he likes to play looking at the goal, not really back to goal or running into the channels, creating space. The striker's position is the glory, is the work. Running the channels, pulling people out of the way to create space for others. I think Rashford Ashford can do a job there and has done a job there, but I don't think it's a job he wants to do, and I don't think it's a job that would be a long term. But you never know. Good evening, Marcus. Why do we talk about these players like the young Titans? Are we still going to keep them? Finally, a position for them. Why? Because it's all we got, mate. It's all we got. It's all we got at the moment, isn't it? It's all we got. And in the short term, we've got to use what we've got. In the long term, I think Branthwaite, Edison make total sense. Or players if they're good. I think we need to try and find a winger, and obviously I think we need a striker of some sort. But as I said to you this morning, I would not be preparing yourself to predict the future of Man United and incomings and outcomes. But everybody predicting that it would be Maguire and Lindelof and Eriksen would go in the summer, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a shot. Whether it be a Delano or someone like that, just to raise a bit of money. You have to raise money. If you're going to raise money, you've got to move players on that are valuable. So I would just get ready. Get ready for what's to come. Vincent says, you're older than Ruben, Mark. Yeah, it's a cool age, mate. What a good life. A lot of experience, a lot of great things. Wouldn't change it to be 5 years younger. So very happy. And hopefully, if you make it yourself to an older age, because it's not guaranteed, you will get to a point where you don't really care about age either, because you're very happy with what you're doing and what you've got. So some young people get obsessed with age, and it can catch up with you at some point. You start to realise what you're moaning or worried about anyway. Most people who try and troll people about something because they're concerned about it themselves. Oh, you're going slightly bold, Mark. Terrible at getting bold, you get bold. Thanks everyone for watching. Videos have come out with David Q. I mean, I'm not interested in the event. It's the United stand. I do think, you know what? I did a video on Max Football about it. He's going to lose his job. And I get it. I think people know it must be international break. And also, can I just say, if you make a good rewatch, did you notice today how I found myself going, this story came out about, I'll read it to you actually, it's called Joe. And I know, I have a theory on exactly what it is. So it came out today that following the half-time whistle against Brentford, Darren Fletcher made his way down the tunnel and in an extremely aggressive manner was pointing at the fourth official, shouting, "You're all fucking shit. That's a fucking joke. Every fucking week." So, you know, who's leaking this out? And my theory is, it's the PJML trying to distract from the shit show that's going on with them, with all these videos and what's been said about Mark Robin, to try and go, look at what Darren Fletcher did. He shouted and swore at us in the tunnel because we made a bad decision. Oh, I know one of ours is doing videos and sniffing stuff, and I know another one is completely and utterly not doing his job properly. But look at what Darren Fletcher did. Look, don't look at videos. Look at Darren Fletcher. He was really angry and he swore at us. And I'm like, hold on. You're all shit. You're a joke, and you do it every week. Where's the line? Oh, did it in an aggressive way. What do you want him to do? Get your hands and start doing rigorosis. We're all a joke. Of course he's going to be angry, because you're crap at your jobs. But he came out and I thought, what's he done wrong, and why is it coming out? And I thought, well, you know what? It's just distracting tactics. They're trying to play the victim card when they're an absolute joke as an organisation. And we all know how that works, don't we? All of a sudden everything coming out, yeah, says Mikel, why people mention age when we're all old and your mouths are shutting? Thank you very much. Anyway, thanks for watching. Really enjoying these 8 o'clock shows in the international break. Lots of good topics, lots of good conversation. I don't know whether it's the England tomorrow night. If I do, it'll be a 7 o'clock show, but I might watch England and then have to have a bigger chat whilst we're watching it. Don't forget, Manscaped, 20% off, free worldwide shipping, go to TUS20, get them delivered for Christmas or whatever you want. Talking about Christmas, don't get Christmas jumper. I think this is our best knitted jumper we've ever done. I loved the previous 2 years, but I think the detail on this one, there's so much going on, and I don't know, I just quite like it. You know, if you're going to be out, bit of white, bit of black, better detail. It's knitted, as I said. I'm loving the piping down the arms. The design on the back as well. It's got it going on. you want to get yourself a Christmas jumper, get them while you can. There's beautiful living worldwide, but when they're gone, they're gone. Get yourself to United Stand, Shopify, link is in the description as well. Take care, everyone. Back in the morning at 10. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. That's it. Take care. Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. It's the big one, it's the Manchester Derby, and we are live, and full of bravado. I'm going for it today. I am going for Manchester United. As a Manchester United fan, I'm not having any of this negativity. The game has not kicked off yet. It's a Manchester Derby. We've got every chance of getting a result out of this today. If we approach it in the right way, I think we can do it. And I think that all this 21 wins in a row, the oil tap is on. We've got those rubber gloves on. The oil's not going to slip. We're going to turn that tap, and we're going to stop this winning run. We're going to start a bit of positivity around our club, and it starts today. It starts today. Fulham are beating Liverpool as well, so it's all there for us to do. I knew people would say deluded bridge. Apparently, I don't know. Anyway, just want to say a big shout out to Cards Plug as well for supporting today's Derby Day watch along. Cards Plug make awesome custom football cards like this one that they sent me. For 1 million subscribers. Let me just make sure this looks good on screen because I want to get the full appreciation of it. There it is. Look, there it is. 1 million. Say it that way. 1 million subscribers and a Cards Plug card sent to us. Cards are fully customisable and are the perfect gift for any football fan. Cards Plug cards are also great as decorative items. They'll look amazing on an office wall or on a man cave or a woman's cave or wherever you want to put it. The cards are not actually made of card, but are actually really strong material, very fancy. My kids have run all over the house with my card and it's still in mint condition. They punch it and all sorts. As Cards Plug love the United Stand community, they are also wanting to make a range of 4 special United Stand cards, and I'm very excited to show what they'll look like soon. But for now, no Cards Plug integration would be complete without an amazing discount for you, the United Stand viewer. And all you have to do to get 25% off is to head to the link in the description, and your discount should be added automatically to your order. However, if you have any problems with it, go through the link to Cards Plug site and just use the code United Stand, all one word, at checkout to get your extra discounts. That's 25% off, fully customisable, really good product. You can put it on your wall, and as I say, that's going to be a collector's item for me. 1 million subs, Gold Bridge, 1 million subscribers. So thanks to Cards Club, and you too can benefit 25% off. Get your own customisable cards through them. So early team news, everybody. Early team news. We've got a new member as well. Welcome to the Members Club, Stoy Silva. Thank you very much for joining. But look, we have got some early team news. I don't think it's going to come as much of a shock to anybody. The team news is this here on the left-hand side. Fred and McTominay obviously will start. Lindelof and Maguire will start. Wan-Bissaka and Shaw will start. Dean Henderson will start. Bruno Fernandes will start. Marcus Rashford will start. The only two slight... that's the team that I've been told, but I have also heard that there might be a late fitness test for Anthony Martial. Even talk of Cavani floating around. Now, the morning news around this was that Cavani's not part of the squad. We knew that last night on the 8 o'clock show. He wasn't seen at Carrington. However, there's a feeling, and I'm not confident on this, there is a feeling that Solskjaer might be playing mind games with this, and that Martial and Cavani could be available, or at least one of them. Apparently Anthony Martial needs a late fitness test, but that late fitness test is to see if he's on the bench. So, I mean, look, if we haven't got Martial and we haven't got Cavani, that creates its own conversation, doesn't it? Because that means you've got to play Greenwood, James and a half-back. We know Rashford's carrying an injury as well now, don't we? So, but more importantly, if that doesn't work, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility that Dan James could have an off game, or Greenwood or Rashford, we've got no striker on the bench. So I think this for me is that what I always said, I like Cavani, but I felt with the deal, everybody got very excited about a deal that was desperate. And there was a lot of clubs who didn't go for Cavani, and we did right at the end. And I think we did because we were desperate. And the risk with Cavani, and I think why a lot of clubs didn't go near Cavani, is because of his injury record. And yet again, he's injured. Three times he's been injured. we've only really had him for 4 months. So I don't really have a lot of sympathy for Manchester United's striking situation. For some reason, we've lost Martial this season. You can obviously put a lot of that on the player, but I don't get where he's gone. Cavani just never. Cavani missed the last game against Man City, didn't he, in the Carabao Cup because of. I don't think he's played against Man City. I think he was injured for the game in December, where we drew 0-0 at Old Trafford. I think he was suspended for the game, or was he back for the game in the Carabao Cup? And he's out again today. We won't be attacking anyway, Mark, says Mark Dobby, and I won't be positive and hope we can get something, but this is his least confident I've been in the game for a while, says Jacob. Well, look, Flex is going to come on a little bit later. He's very, very negative. I'm positive because you know what? If we win, I'll look great. But no, I am positive for this game because I think that I tweeted it out this morning. I remember Manchester United, strong Manchester United sides under Sir Alex Ferguson, losing to Manchester City before they had the oil line put in. Like before they existed, Man City still used to get good results against us. You never, ever would have predicted it. Never in a million years. But it can happen. Now, granted, what a save by the Fulham goalkeeper there. What a save from Jota. Brilliant save, by the way. They're losing 1-0 to Fulham. But I've seen this happen before. Now, people are saying, yeah, but fans were in the ground. This is at the Etihad. How do fans in the ground benefit us? We don't have any fans in the ground, so the fans would be against us anyway. So I think Manchester United should go to this game and go, look, they haven't got fans in the ground. They haven't got people in the ground. It's a normal game for Man City, isn't it? Joking. But we've got an opportunity here today. We've got to go into this game with the same things I said this morning. Passion, drive, it's 11 against 11, a bit of physicality. And you know, I mean, to be honest with you, I would rather we lost but fought than draw or lose and just be another part of the bus team that lets them have the ball. I mean, I don't want players to get sent off for stupid tackles, but I don't mind if a player gets sent off for a couple of stupid tackles that the referees are cracked about. I mean, I want to see a bit of passion in the shirt. You know, many people are expecting us to lose today, so if we're going to lose, I want us to lose with a bit of something. And you know, you can't have it both ways. I always think that's greedy anyway when you have it both ways. Pick a choice, but that's what she said. But the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of people think we're going to lose the game anyway. I don't think we're going to lose. I think we'll get a draw. But if we're going to lose the game, to all those people who think we're going to lose the game, if we're going to lose the game, I'd rather go down fighting. I'd rather go down, because we've got another game on Thursday, and we've got West Ham next week, and we've got Leicester in the Cup in a couple of weeks. I want to take something from this game. I want to take something from this game that's not part of the buzz, not have the ball, play the same shit way we always do, and then at the end of the game, we're just like, we're not progressing. I want to see something. Now, that might be something and a good result, or it might be a loss, but something. We've got to take something from this game, and that's the main thing as far as I'm concerned. We've got to take something from this game, and be positive, definitely. Jonathan says, this guy always disrespecting clubs that are better than you. Jonathan, I'm a Manchester United fan. We're the best club in the world. Sit down. And we will say what we want because we're arrogant. So, you know, you're not getting any bloody respect. Screw your respect. You've got an oil line put in and you think you're relevant. You're not. We're Manchester United. We go back decades and decades, and our club means something. So, sorry if you think that's arrogant. That's Manchester United. That's the way we are. That's the way we always will be. As a fan base, it's such a shame we haven't got ownership like that. It really is. But as fans, let's have it. Let's have it. And look, I can't play today. You can't play today. We can't manage today. We can't pick a team today. But I'm not going to go into a massive game like this against the best team in England at the moment and just go, screw me. You know, literally screw me. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to try. I mean, at the end of the day, is that if we're walking into a lion's den, go and throw a few punches. You know, at the end of the day, it's better than just lying there and getting eaten, isn't it? We've got to go and fight. And I expect some fight today. I'm well up for this game. I get it. I totally get it. I know Manchester City are a fantastic side, but I'm up for this game. Like, because you can't walk into anything in life defeated. You can't do that, especially not competitive sports, especially not Manchester United. I nearly went like that, but that's the United stand match. But you know what I mean? We've got to go into this properly. I'd love to be in that dressing room because I'd love to see what people are saying. because we've got to go into it and we've got to fight. And I tell you what, I'd be saying to Fred, I'd be saying to McTominay, I'd be saying to Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, I'd be saying, you know, if there's a hint of a 50-50 tackle, absolutely crunch them. Make sure you get the ball, but absolutely crunch them. Give them something they're not used to. Don't let them dictate the play. Welcome to Members Club, Ola, and it's actually sad that we have to start Bruno. He's going to give the ball away every time he gets it. We need Van der Beek in there, and Bruno is a sub, says James. Yeah, well, Van der Beek's not fit, and you're a troll. Hi, Mark. If you could pick one player from our treble-winning team to turn our current squad into title contenders, who would you pick? Says Keane, Geraghty. You've got your name's the right name. You're really Keane every day of the week. Congratulations on a million, Mark. Well deserved. You are an absolute idol. Keep up the good work. Arsenal Avanza, says Bustin. Yeah, I'm not going to read your second name because I think it's a trap. Come on, lads, we can do this. Let's cause carnage and believes, says Connor Shields. Look, it's a hell of a challenge. It's a hell of a challenge today, and that is the team we've been told. I think we can definitely take to the bank. There is a rumour going around that Martial and Cavani could be involved. I don't really believe the rumour. I think that will be the team, but you can definitely take to bank 9 of those places. The only 2 that might change are Greenwood and James. The rest of it, you know, you can cook your dinner on it. It's a plate. It's going to be there. Confirmed that Martial has passed the fitness test, says Cena. I would imagine he will be on the bench. There's no sign of Cavani, apparently. Martial is there, but Cavani isn't, says Caden. So, but Martial may well be on the bench, so that's the next thing. Martial was always going to be given a late fitness test, as I said at the start of the show. And I think we'll have to just wait and see. Anthony Martial is in the squad to face Man City after passing the fitness test. So there you go. That's been confirmed by numerous outlets now. But look, I mean, whether Martial's fit or not, in many minds, that's not necessarily a good thing because he's not playing that well anyway. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie on this. I think that we face a huge task. Of course we do. And I think that they're a fantastic side, Manchester City. Only an idiot would say they're not. But we're Manchester United. We don't give in. We don't surrender. We just don't do that. You know, and I don't want to bring in the past or anything like that, but there's plenty of past situations where we've been up against it. I mean, I could reference after the tragedy in '58, and we had to get a team together to play and finish the season. But you know, maybe that's a little bit, a long time ago. But it's what our club's all about. We want something a little bit more recent. I remember Manchester United against a very good Arsenal side in the year of the treble. You know, at last minute, Roy Keane's been sent off already. They get a penalty in the last minute to win the game and knock us out in the semi-final. Peter Schmeichel makes a save. We go into extra time. We're a 10 against 11. 10 Manchester United men against a very good Arsenal 11. Going into extra time. Schmeichel's kept us in it, and Ryan Giggs goes and scores that goal. 10 against a very good 11 Arsenal side. This club can do things. We've got 11 against 11 tonight. We've got 11 in the Premier League against Manchester City. I'm not giving in. Look, in the game, I can't control the game. I'm not sitting here saying we're going to win. That's not what I'm saying. My prediction is that we won't lose, that we'll get a draw. I can't guarantee that. But what I will say is that I'm going into this game behind this team, behind this manager, behind these players, because I demand performance from Manchester United in a game like this, and so should you. And they will get my support, and they will get my passion, and they will get my up for it bravado until they don't deliver it. And if 10 minutes in we're 3-0 down, and those prats at the back and in midfield have cost us goals, then they're going to get the criticism, aren't they? They will get it. That will come. But for now, I'm behind them, and I'm going to give them everything that I can. And I think we all should, because this is the club that we love, and we can do it. We can do it. They've got to believe they can do it. We know Ollie is going to park the bus and play us back 6 and Pep will tear us apart. We aren't going to be courageous. Hopefully City will save us the time and finish the game in the first half. But that's just negative KSC. That's not the way we are. We can't be like that. Some will say he's been very realistic, but how can you go into that game? Where's your passion for the shirt? Where's the passion for the club that you support? You've got to believe. Look, maybe I am naive, but I'm going to believe. Slowly slipping down the table, we are rising, says Zayn. Oh, there we go. That's made me feel better straight away that Zayn thinks Arsenal are in anything. Did you watch your game yesterday, Zayn? Hi Mark, United Stand. I'm hoping to enjoy an attacking, enjoyable game of football. I don't get to see a lot of that with Nuno and his deck chair about tactics, is Matthew. Mate, I can't promise you attacking attractive football from Manchester United, but I'm sure you'll see something from City, to be fair. They're going to control the ball. They're going to control the ball. They're going to control the game. I just want to see things from Manchester United today. I really do. Mark, we need to absolutely nail them. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's expecting us to get any points today. Imagine if we won. Imagine what Sunday night would be if we won. I mean, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be that fan. You don't want to be that fan who is sat there now going, we've got no chance, Ollie needs to go, off this team's shit, we're rubbish, we've got no chance. And then we win, because you've said we've got no chance and we're useless. So I don't disagree with you that we have been useless and a bit shit, but I'm going to believe in this team. And then if they deliver, then I'll feel that I've played a part, even though that's just, nonsense. It is, I've not played any part. But I'm going to get behind them. And then if they do it, I'm going to be like, yes, it can happen. Come on, you Blues, says Mitchell Bassett. And Zane must be the most deluded person out there, Fulham as much as in the top race as Arsenal, says Ross Gunn. Please smash a like on the video, everybody. I'm feeling positive today. I've got a funny feeling something good's going to happen today. Now, look, it might not be anything to do with football. It might be later on when I go to bed, but we'll see. If we aren't lazy and play smart, we will get a draw. So if we aren't lazy and play smart, we will get a draw. Yeah, well, I agree with the cat there. I do agree with that. The reality is they didn't beat us at Old Trafford. All right, Man City are better now, and we're worse now, but they didn't beat us at Old Trafford. So we'll see. Why is with the negativity around Bruno, says Salah Ahmed? Granted, he hasn't played well the past few games yet. How much is that down to the way we are set up to play? I think it's down to the way we're set up to play. I think it's down to the amount of minutes he's played. I think it's down to a lot of things at the moment, Salah. I don't think that the criticism of Bruno Fernandes is very fair, but look, I don't really have a lot of things to say about that. I love Bruno Fernandes. I think he's our best player. I think he's proven to be our best player over the last year. If you're not on board with that, that's up to you. You're missing out. I think he's our best player. But I will say, if United play like they did against City at Old Trafford, like they did at Liverpool at Anfield, like we did against Chelsea twice, like we did against Arsenal twice, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, we may as well open up the player ratings now. I'm tempted to open up the player ratings now on the website for our forwards, because they're all getting fives. They are. Unless Ollie does something weird, I already know that Bruno's getting 5 out of 10, Rashford's getting 5 out of 10, or worse, because they're set up to fail in the way that we play. But look, let's hope to see something different. The problem is, Mark, we can be positive, but Ollie will set up in a negative way. I'd love us to go out and attack, says to me, to you. And we need to end City's winning streak. Come on, you Devils. And I love that from United stand. I love that comment. I love that comment, because we are Manchester United. We share a city with Manchester City, and they have won 21 games in a row. They are looking to break another record. They are looking to try and win a quadruple. What are we going to do? Are we going to leave somebody else? Are we going to hope Bayern Munich knock them out? Are we going to hope that somebody else knocks them out of the cup? Or are we going to go and knock them out? Are we going to go and give them a blow that might fuck up the rest of their season? They're going to win the league, but if we could beat them today, if we can find a way to beat them today, that might mess them up in the FA Cup, it might mess them up in the Champions League. But if you let them beat us, their confidence just keeps growing. This super squad they've got, this bench that is better than most teams' first team. We should be looking to deliver something. If I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I would be relishing this game, relishing the opportunity to dish out a blow to this Man City side that is very, very capable of actually, what's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer what's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer most famous for? And Solskjaer has won it, the treble. That's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is most famous for. And this club we're playing today could beat what Solskjaer is famous for. I mean, do you need any more inspiration, or do you cowardly protect your short-term future, or do you bravely try and protect your long-term future, which is Manchester United and whatever? We're bigger than anything. So we need. I think we've got to have a way of going into this game. I agree. I think we will probably play quite defensive, but you can't just sit back. He said it himself. You can't sit back and hope. I wonder if Foden starts today. Interesting one, says Mitchell Bassett. I think he will do. Mark, in your opinion, why doesn't he play with more bravery? Is it really down to our centre backs, or are we not wanting to lose his job, says MK Group? All good things must come to an end after 21 wins. Something's got to give. Come on, United, says Ashley Crane. All these chaps are deluded. I'm sorry, but this having hope is setting us up for a disaster, says James. I'm sure the good thing you are anticipating is in bed. Well, James, I disagree. I think James is a troll, because didn't he say drop Bruno for Van der Beek, who's injured? So I'm not going to dwell on you too much, but having belief and hope in your football team. I mean, to be honest with you, if you've got no hope or you've got no belief in your team today, why don't you piss off out for a walk? Like, it's a nice sunny day in the UK. Why are you even watching if you've got no belief in your team? Do you slow down at car crashes? I mean, come on. You've got to have some hope. You've got to have some belief. Look, even if you think there is no hope, football is full of giant killings. And I don't think it's a giant killing anyway. But it is. Wimbledon beat bloody Liverpool in FA Cup in '88. There's hundreds of games where these things can happen. But I don't even think it's that much of a long shot, to be honest with you. Mark, I know we need to be positive, but City are going to go into inhumanely put us out of our misery. No, Alexander, I'm not having this. I just feel like I'm fighting a losing battle with some people today. This is my club. This is my team. This is Manchester United. I'm not going quietly into the night. We will not disappear. We will stand up and fight, and we will give it what we can, and we will go down fighting with every last breath. And as I said, if someone gets sent off unjustly today, or there's someone flies into a tackle and crunches Foden or someone like that, and it's a fair tackle, and I see some fight, I will stand with those players. I will see some progress. I need to see that today. I've got to see something today. I've got to see fight. I've got to see something to take from this game. And look, Solskjaer in himself should be thinking that maybe we will get beat. Maybe Man City, well, there's no maybe about it. Man City are better than us. But we've got to take something from this game, because at the moment the team is dropping in the league, in form, confidence is dropping. Got to take something out of this game, because it could kickstart our season, and confidence is drained from that side. And going back to that previous super chat about, do you think Solskjaer sets us up negatively on purpose, or do you think he's trying to save his job, or do you think it's the centre-backs? I think it's very, very interesting, because I think it's been very, very clear that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comes out and says that we don't play counter-attacking football, we play on the front foot and we play a high press, which we don't. So if he is trying to do that, I just think it shows the limitations of the players. Look, maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is telling his players to play on the front foot, to play more attacking, but ultimately you can't polish a turd. I keep saying this. Ole may well be trying to get Manchester United to play more attacking, more pressing football. You can't turn Fred and McTominay and Matic into fast pressing good footballers. You can't do that, because if you could do that, you wouldn't spend 80 million on Sancho. You'd spend 10 million on a Stoke player and turn them into Sancho, because quality can count. Sakin says, predicted lineup, have a good feeling about this game. Every time there is a fire under Ollie, we come out swinging, says Sakin. So that team there is the lineup I've been told. However, Martial's late fitness test might change something. You could see Martial start and Greenwood or James drop out, but that's the team that we've been told. Come on, we are United, says James McIntyre. There will be space to get it behind them. We need to be clinical, only to get a couple of chances, must take them, says James. Doesn't matter what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer say, he contradicts himself, says Tab Raz. We must get first blood, says Laurie. We can't concede early, Laurie. I definitely agree with him on that one. Yeah, definitely agree with him on that. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone who's tuning in early. The team news officially will be coming out in about 8 minutes' time. But Anthony Martial has passed the fitness test and is part of the squad. That has been confirmed. No Cavani. So we won't be seeing Cavani, which is a shame. But I get ridiculed because I questioned the signing of Cavani, and yet he's already been injured 3 times, and I questioned it because I knew it was a desperation signing. I know he's a very good player, but he is injured a lot. Hi mate, Can Close has a question. What's your go-to meal deal? You seem like a chicken Caesar type of guy. Lean judge, eat ham sandwiches, etc. Well, I could be LT actually. I'm not a troll, I want United to succeed, but I'm also not deluded. It's a joke that some people actually think we're going to win. Have fun in bed, says James. James, trying to get famous off super chats. Hi Mark, my mate Cat, done that one. No harm in believing. Hope our players play with the passion as fans have, says Matthew Larney. We are more than capable of beating Man City. We are Manchester United. Yes, we are underdogs for this game. This is our time to make things right, says Flizzy. I agree. Welcome to Members Club, Adriana. Thank you very much. Can I just remind everybody as well, I'll go to a better screen for it. We are sponsored by Cards Plug on the Super Chat today. They sent me one of these the other day. 1 million subscribers. They are totally customizable. You can get your own name on there. You can get your own stats on there. 25% off. They are giving United Stand viewers today. The link is in the video description. Very good quality product. You can put it on your wall. You can frame it. You can just have it on your desk. Fantastic. And 25% off with Cards Plug. Give it a click on the link in the video description, and lots and lots of different designs and ways you can do it as well. I think you can actually get your own players done as well if you want to. Right, still 1-0 with 20 minutes to go for Liverpool at Anfield. I mean, look, I think actually if Liverpool did lose today, that would be or not win today, that would be a real surprise for me, because I still do feel, and I think I just want to talk about the Premier League table for a moment. I do feel, I mean, Chelsea are looking very good at the moment. We are down to third. Leicester yesterday turned it round, didn't they, against Brighton? And I think that's a big result for Leicester, because the injuries they've got, they've turned that down. They've turned that around. Got Sheffield United next as well. So, look, we could be third outright tonight, because if we draw, we're still third. If we lose, we're third. If we win, we go back to second. But we are third place now. And if we lose today and Chelsea beat Everton tomorrow, they're 1 point behind us. Then you've got Everton, who would have, technically, if you lose today, and if Everton win their 2 games in hand, they would go abroad. West Ham is still in the race. But Liverpool not winning today would mean that we would be 7 points ahead of Liverpool, regardless of what, at least 7 points ahead of Liverpool. So Liverpool not winning today could be really useful for us in our top 4 chances, because I have a feeling that Chelsea are not going to go away. Leicester are still up there. I think Liverpool are going to find some form at some point. So, and we've still got to play Liverpool, so it would be brilliant if Liverpool didn't win today against Fulham, because I am worried about our top 4 hopes. I'm not that deluded. I am worried about our form. I do think we'll get better when Pogba comes back, and I do hope, I'm really hopeful, I don't know whether people have heard this, and I don't know what the latest is on it. Rishab says we're not giving up our away record. Well, that's something else to cling on to as well, isn't it? We're not unbeaten in a year away from home, so someone's record's going to go, like Ollie says, either it's their winning record or our away record. 2 years ago today we beat PSG in the Champions League, says Michael Southcombe. We need something like that again. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? 2 years yesterday. So Mark, if you had to put Martial on, who would you take out? Dan James. The only probably I had played with Tommy and Dan James is this: do they start for any top 6 sides? What does that say about us? Nate, this team ain't good enough. This team is not good enough. No chance. I'm not going to pretend that that team on the screen that is next to me now is good enough to get anywhere near as like it's what we've got today. I agree with Sean Negative Turner. We are hoping the draw absolutely joke how far fans' expectations have fallen, says Ben Anderson. Oh, I'm not hoping. I'm not hoping. I'm not. I'm going for something a little bit. I'm hoping for a result. Does Ollie? Sorry, mate. Nick P says, I felt like we might win this one, Mark. Hell has no fury like a Bruno Storm. He's been criticised lately. He won't take that laying down. I think there might be a red card for United today, and ultimately, I'd rather get a red card and lose than not get a red card and lose. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but at least it might show a bit of fucking passion. But what I wanted to say is, talking about the race for top 4, it's a real race that's coming now, as we know. A real race is coming for top 4, and Liverpool are getting closer and closer on my screen, but it's going to be difficult. It's really going to be difficult. So this game is massive. Nothing but a win today, especially it's my 21st birthday, says Clay. United shirt on, beer in a glass. Let's go United. We want a bit of positivity. We do. We want a bit of positivity, don't we? Van der Beek is injured again. I can't really say anything more than Van der Beek is injured at the moment. It's at a time where we don't really want him to be. He is. And it's just typical, absolutely typical. When you need him, he's injured. So there's nothing more we can say about him. Again, Cavani's injured as well. So Just going to catch up on the super chats. Thanks everyone who's doing those through the dollar sign. Read that one. From Jenks. I think we can win, says Jenks. 1102. Hi Mark, mate. What I've done that one on James. Sure, negative Turner. This is Manchester United, but not the United we remember. These players are bottle jobs. This manager is out of his depth. I'm hoping they draw. It's a joke. And also, Zane says, Mark, you act like United is Churchill, never surrendering. You have surrendered to us twice this season. Mate, where are you in the league? Why are you even relevant? Why don't you use good teams when you're trying to dismiss Manchester United? Because the thing is, there are plenty of examples where you can take the piss out of Manchester United, but you lose the opportunity to take the piss out of us when you use Arsenal as the reason to do it. Like, I'm not saying that you're wrong. We have embarrassed ourselves this season, but you can't use Arsenal as the reason that we've embarrassed ourselves. We lost to you in the autumn when we were shit, and you were near us in the league. You beat us with a penalty 1-0. You didn't dominate us. You beat us 1-0 with a penalty that became your goal of the month because it was the only goal you bloody scored. And just to remind you, at the Emirates, you drew 0-0. And where you are in the league, you're 10th, and we're 3rd. So you can't use Arsenal as the reason to take the piss out of Manchester United, I'm afraid. You're going to have to use somebody like Man City, because you can't use Arsenal, because it ruins your argument. Hi Mark, I've been here since the start of the 16-17 season. Amazing how we're at 1 million subs. Feels like 30k yesterday. Keep up the good work. And thanks for the super chat there from Finley O'Connor. Thanks Finley. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner everyone. We have hit 1 million now, but we don't stop, we keep going, so subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're going for 1,002,000 today I think, so let's do it. Shout out to my girlfriend Helen who got PS5. United surprising all with a win. Green grits from Man United, and well done to Helen getting the PS5. It's not something I haven't got. Liverpool 68 game losing streak at Anfield inbound. Come on United, go back to bed Arsenal fans. We're going to turn this over full stop, says Play S. And the lineup is out, so we can get you the official lineup now, but I think it will probably be the team. Oh no, Martial is starting, so there is a little change, which is interesting. Let's have a look. So it's Greenwood who drops to the bench, and it's McTominay who, not McTominay, it's Greenwood who drops to the bench, and it's Martial who starts. I mean, I don't know. Just put that tweet out. So what are your thoughts on that, everybody? We've got the team news, and it's a change on screen. It isn't the team that was leaked out because of that late fist. I did warn people about that. So that's the team we've been told. That's the team everyone has seen. But there is an opportunity with Anthony Martial doing that late fitness test that he could start in this game. How fit he's going to be is always a relevant point. But he is fit enough to start for Manchester United today, and he does start for Manchester United today. So just check you the. Just get through the subs as well. I mean, I don't expect it to be very exciting.